funds, sir, are the ones who we use for the managing of the whole common areas of the buildings.
So, do I understand it that the association dues is a fund which you use for the upkeep? Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's
All
correct.
right. Now, where is this where are these association dues kept?
Basically, sir, this is under, we have, the association has its own bank. We build it, then we collect it.
When you say we bill it, what do you mean we bill it? We bill what?
We build the association dues, sir. Then if the unit owners paid already, then we put in the bank of the association.
You bill the individual condominium owners.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you put that in the bank account
Yes, Your Honor.
to be used for the management of the common areas,
Yes, Your Honor.
like disposal of garbage, janitorial services, electrical repairs, repairs for other facilities of the building.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Now, Mr. Lim, thank you, Your Honor. Are you responsible? Who is responsible? I'm sorry. Who is responsible for billing the homeowners or the residents?
The property manager itself, sir.
Are you referring to yourself?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, if a resident refuses to pay, what do you do?
Normally, sir, on the condominium laws, we send billing. Then, if we didn't receive any payments yet, we send demand letters.
A demand letter. Who is the signatory of your demand letters when you send them, Mr. Lim?
Basically, the property manager itself, sir.
Are there any other demand letters sent aside from those signed by the
Counsel,
property
just
manager?
a minute.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the relevance of all of this line of questioning? When
Your
you
Honor.
presented this witness
I'm coming to that, Your
to
Honor.
explain why it was the condominium was bought on a prior year only to be reflected in in a subsequent year.
Yes, Your Honor. The point that will be shown is that there were some issues that precluded.
All right, go to the point.
Yes. I would like to show you a document. Do you recognize this document? May we please make of record that I'm sending a document to the witness, and I invite counsel for the prosecution to inspect the same.
There's no basis for the document, Your Honor, without introduction.
Your Honor, he just said that they prepared demand letters. Do you recognize the document, Mr. Lim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell us what this document is, if you know?
This is the final demand letter, sir, sent by our corporate secretary of the association to
Final
Mrs.
demand to whom?
To Mrs. Corona, sir.
Who is Mrs. Corona? What's her name?
To Mrs. Christina Corona, Your Honor.
Was she occupying the property?
No, Your Honor.
Who was occupying the property?
None, Your Honor.
Nobody.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, proceed.
Your Honor, may you request that the document identified by the counsel be adopted, by the witness and the counsel, be adopted as defense exhibit number 195.
You're marking that document as exhibit?
Yes, Your Honor, as exhibit number 195.
Mark it accordingly.
All right, can you tell us, please, Mr. Witness, who executed this document? Who signed it?
Our corporate secretary of the association, sir.
May we know the name of the corporate secretary?
Attorney Joselito John G. Blando.
Yes. Did he prepare this document on his own initiative?
No, Your Honor. This was approved by the board. Basically, when we have a board meeting, the board approved that we send final demand letters using our corporate secretary to the delinquent owners for them to pay the association dues.
Going back to the document, Mr. Witness, do you confirm that what I see on this document, which says, under these circumstances, final demand is hereby made upon you to pay your outstanding obligation to our client in the amount stated above within 10 days from your receipt of this letter? Do you confirm those words on the document?
No, Your Honor. Basically, this was issued by our corporate secretary.
Do these words appear on the document, Mr. Lim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lim, can you tell us what is the amount of the that is being demanded by the condominium corporation in relation to this letter?
112,213 pesos, 213 and 79 cents.
112,000.
112,213.79.
Yes. Was this amount paid, Mr. Lim?
Only the principal amount, Your Honor.
I'm showing you photocopies of receipts apparently issued by the Columns Ayala Avenue Condominium Corporation, and I invite the counsel for the prosecution to inspect the same. Right. Your Honor, we are showing the witness one sheet of paper which contains the photocopies of two official receipts. The upper half, can you please tell us, can you please explain to us what is this upper half of the document, of the paper?
The upper half, Your Honor, is the original receipt number 24141,
Yes.
paid by Mrs. Cristina Corona, Unit 31B, Tower 1,
For how much?
amounting to 78,162.36.
Yes.
All right. May we request that the upper half of the document be marked as Defense Exhibit 195A, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Mark it accordingly.
Thank you. Thank you. Your Honor, now, Mr. Witness, can you please explain to us what appears on the lower half of the document?
This is another payment, sir. Official receipt number 24142, paid by Mrs. Cristina Corona, Unit 31B, Tower 1, amounting to 30,132 pesos.
May we request that the bottom half of the document be marked as Exhibit 195B?
Mark it accordingly. Are those two receipts bearing the same dates?
Yes, Your Honor.
They bear the same dates.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, just a manifestation. The documents presented were not originals. They appear to be photocopies of an original document that was not presented.
We concur, Your Honor. We will produce the originals as soon as we are able for the inspection of our
Proceed.
counsel. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Okay. Now, Mr. Lim, you said that in the first receipt, the amount paid was 78,162.26.
Yes, sir.
And then you said that in the second receipt, the amount paid was 30,132.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell us, Mr. Lim, what was the total payment made by Cristina Corona based on these two receipts?
Most approximately, sir, at 108,000.
108,000. 108,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, am I correct, Mr. Lim, that you mentioned earlier that your demand letter was for the amount of 112,000? Was that correct? Or
Yes.
so?
Yes, Your Honor.
I think the amount mentioned was
112,000. 213.79.
Yes. But these two receipts amount to only 108,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Am I correct, therefore, that there is a deficit of about 4,000 more or less?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, does Mrs. Corona owe the condominium corporation 4,000 pesos more or less after these payments?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon not approval of the waiving of interest and penalties.
What do you mean, waiving of the interest and penalties?
Basically, Your Honor, in the condominium laws, we put interest and penalties for delinquent members who not paying their delinquent due. They are not paying their delinquent dues, Your Honor.
And were there interests and penalties charged to Mrs. Corona?
Yes, Your Honor, for the 112,000.
For the 112,000 you mentioned earlier,
Yes, Your Honor, that is inclusive of interest and penalties.
your testimony is that it included penalties and interests.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you also testified that based on these receipts, she paid less than 112,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell us, please, Mr. Lim, what happened to the penalties and interests being claimed from Mrs. Corona? If you know?
Already answered, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, he answered the basis of the penalties.
Let him answer so that we can finish.
Mrs. Corona approached me and asked me if I can waive the interest and penalties. Most likely, Your Honor, the procedure is that the unit owner must write a letter to the board of directors to request to waive the interest and penalties.
Mr. Lim, may I ask you to stop there? You said she must write a letter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she write a letter?
Yes, Your Honor.
I am showing you a letter. Do you recognize
Wait a
it?
minute,
Your
Counselor.
Honor.
What has this line of questioning got to do with the reflection of this condominium?
Your Honor, the letter will contain precisely the reason for the delay in accepting the delivery. The witness is about to testify why there was an underpayment, and the reasons for that are contained in the letter.
In other words, the condominium unit was not yet delivered to the Coronas?
That is the question in this case, Your Honor, because the
What do you mean the question?
the title was transferred early on. But there were, I think, in 2004 or 2005. But there were outstanding issues which the owner or the registered owner, in this case Mrs. Corona, could not settle with the condominium corporation. That is contained in the letter, Your Honor.
But if the title was already transferred to the Coronas, then formally they are the owners.
There was no acceptance, Your Honor.
But they've been billing them with juice already and they paid.
If you will allow me to continue, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Honor, may I just make a manifestation before we proceed? The letter that was presented by the witness appears to be a photocopy again, in violation of the best evidence rule, and it appears to be a self-serving letter, Your Honor.
They have already promised to produce the original. If they cannot produce it, then you make the proper motion at the proper time.
You submit, Your Honor.
At any rate, Your Honor, the witness will identify this as a photocopy. Do you recognize this photocopy, Mr. Lim?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is a photocopy of what, if you don't mind?
This is the letter of Mrs. Cristina Corona to the Board of Directors of the Column Seala Avenue Condominium Corporation, Your Honor.
What is the purpose of this letter, Mr. Lim?
Objection, Your Honor. Best evidence would be the letter.
All right, very well. Do you confirm, therefore, that the letter contains this paragraph? This is also to request for the waiver of penalties and interests incurred from commencement of payments, what is this? Which Mr. Ben Slim allowed pending confirmation